VeChain is tanking in price, but it's a good thing. Yes, we are looking at the weekly chart here, and that potential 4.1 to 4.6 cent, in my opinion, we still have to consider. We are coming down in price. We have unfortunately lost that 200 EMA, but as we have previously discussed, this could be a good thing. Coming down into this target area we have highlighted here, between 2.6 and 2.3 cent, a test of the 50 EMA at 2.41 cent could be the area of support we are looking for VeChain's price action. Dropping it into the daily time frame, well, that also aligns with the idea of testing the daily 200 EMA at 2.4 cents, again within the target for that fourth wave movement. So that could give us this bullish idea that we still have this relief rally to come. I'm going to discuss more about these relief rallies on the main channel later in the week, but I do think a relief rally of sorts is to come. When we take a look at many stochastic positionings, daily timeframes are oversold, the weekly timeframes are very near oversold territory. I do think a bounce is coming, and this is a good thing for VeChain's price action. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. Of course, I am JB, and today this is going to be an analysis heavy video. So if you're not here for technical analysis, this is probably not a video for you. This is all about the technical analysis, the price action of VeChain, and let's not waste any time. Let's get straight on into this one, and we'll start off here on the daily time frame for VeChain. So what we can see going on, as we previously discussed, was this drop into the target area, or the typical retracement area rather, between 2.671 and 2.377. Now this idea we had was to come down and test out the 200 EMA here at 2.404 cents. This, in my opinion, could be a fantastic area to bounce from for VeChain's price action. Now, of course, we have to consider that we may not breach that 3.877 cents level, that previous high we had of the wave 3, but I think we may actually do this. But of course, we are getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's look at these moves to the downside. We'll drop down onto the 4-hour time frame here, where we can probably look at this a bit more accurately, structure out these moves to the downside, and we can see we are trending to the downside with this tail movement within itself coming down into its wave 3 typical area. The target for that, of course, would be the lower area of 2.376, the impulsive trigger movement. This would then tell us that we would have this movement up in the wave 4. We would be looking for that next movement down in the wave 5, bringing us into the C wave target area between 2.396 and 2.2 cents. For clarity, this would look like a giant A, B and C movement to the downside, giving us a 535 corrective move overall. A very healthy correction for VeChain, and in these areas I am dollar cost averaging into VeChain once again. You will see the buying notifications down in our Discord if you are already a member that I am buying VeChain within these areas. I will be looking for this next bullish push to the upside. Now we have to consider that we may only be looking at a retrace. We will cover that should we come to there, but overall we can still sit on the hopium that we could see a big push to the upside. As I mentioned, the daily, the 8-hour, the 4-hour, the hourly are all oversold, with that weekly almost in the oversold territory. Let's complete this move to the downside and let's look for that bullish push for VET's price action. So the movement down in this wave 3 has been quite a dramatic drop. We of course have lost the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA and the 200 EMA. The trend is bearish, but we can see volatility is picking itself back to the upside across multiple timeframes. The 4-hour here is still in the oversold territory, but we can see there is still a bit of progression to the downside we could see, which again is healthy in my opinion. Bringing us down into 2.5 to 2.3 cents. With the lower area, 2.376, that impulsive trigger. From there, we will look for a bounce in the wave 4, then we will look for that drop in the 5th wave into this bigger area. Again, that is 2.396 to 2.2 cents. And then from there, guys, I will be looking for a bounce to the upside for VeChain, and I think it could be quite a healthy one. When we move it back up onto the daily time frame, well, we can look at that a bit more structured. A drop down towards that 2.4 cent level of the 200 EMA here, that bounce could again be quite a healthy, dramatic push to the upside. If we take the high we had here of 2.387 cents, that wave 3 high, and we bring it down to the 200 EMA here once again, well, we would be looking for a very healthy push to the upside. Now we can already see this one on the charts here, with the 1.618 Fibonacci level Being that impulsive level, we do not have to come up that high, but we can look at that. Overall, this would be the target area here between 4.339 and 5.207. This would be the most bullish outcome for the price action of VeChain. Minimum expectation, once again, we have to appreciate will be up on that line, the previous high of 3.887 cents. But I do think we have the potential to see quite a healthy push up in the market. Considering the sell-off we have seen, a bounce is likely to happen. Now, a conservative approach to this, we've drawn a Fibonacci level here, would of course be a retracement, the 50 to 80% level. This would bring us up towards 3.05 and 3.66 cents. We will keep this one in mind. This may be something we do have to look at should the time come, but this is not my main idea. My main idea is to breach that previous high of 3.877 cents, especially on the daily time frame. We can see the stochastic has reset. Volatility, again, we can see on this BBWP is picking back up once again. In my opinion, we are gearing up for quite a bullish move. And when we throw in the cheeky cipher, let's drag this open on the screen, but we can see we have now crossed the negative 60 line. This giving us the idea that we should be considering a long position or buying VeChain if you're looking to just swing this one. Yes, money flow has dropped into the negative territory. VWAP is still negative, so we could see this one continue. But we know if we're using the cipher, we would look for our anchor wave, we would then look for that trigger wave before we look for that long position. And I don't think we're a million miles away from this. Should the market hold up, should we not see mass sell-off from the likes of Grayscale, which we have of course already seen, I do think we are on the cusp of seeing quite a dramatic push to the upside. For many coins, VeChain of course will be absolutely no exception. I will throw it up to the weekly here, just to round off today's video. A nice short, snappy, quick analysis of VeChain, give you my ideas where I think the price action is going. We can see on the weekly chart how this wave 4 is moving on down. With the 50 EMA on the weekly chart here at 2.4 cent, again, we can see a lot of confluence for support here on the EMAs at the 4 hour, the daily and the weekly time frame, all sitting around about 2.4 cents. And again, the stochastic positioning on this weekly time frame is resetting ever so quickly to the downside. But what we can also take a look at here is a Gaussian channel on the weekly time frame, where we have now came down to test out the upper band of the Gaussian channel. The upper band sitting at 2.6 cents. We may even come down and retest this midline. We will not rule that one out, but what we can see is a bit of confluence here once again. The 50 SMA sitting at that area, so we can be prepared to, potentially come down a little bit further, potentially testing that area. I am not expecting that move. If it does happen, we will cross that road, should it come. And we throw in the liquidity blocks. This one here is really catching a lot of confluence for me. We can see we are about to fill out some previous liquidity here for VeChain with a low of 2.504. We could see that one drop down. The next liquidity block sitting around about 2.2 cents. We will see if we do drop down to there, but I do think we are on the cusp of a bit of a bounce for VET's price action. And when we look at the volumes, well, we can see the previous support we are coming down into. I do think, once again, we are getting another confirmation that we are finding an area we should be finding support for the price action of VeChain, and ultimately looking for that next bullish move to the upside. So where are you positioned in the market? Where do you sit with the analysis that I've carried out today? Do you think that we could see that next bullish move to the upside? Are you hedging for that push overall? I do think that push to the upside, well, we could see us come up into this area where, for today's video, I have not got it drawn on, but we would see the 786 Fibonacci level sitting around about the 4.3 cents level. I will make sure I have that drawn on for the next video. But a push back up to here, this, in my opinion, could be that final rejection point before we do look for that greater correction. Now, I know there will be a YouTube comment saying, are we not expecting lower lows? These are weekly timeframes. These do not happen overnight, and these movements I expect to see across the markets will take, a period of time to play out, and that retrace, in my opinion, will be a very healthy retrace overall. But that is where I sit with VeChain. I would love to know where you guys are all positioned for the price action of VET. And if you want to carry on the conversation, guys, head on down to the Discord. Let's talk about VeChain down there. Leave us a comment in today's video. Let me know where you are with the price action for VET. And of course, check out the latest content coming to you from Cheeky Crypto Uncensored by watching this video right here.